Hi, I'm Chef Ange. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my kitchen. On today's episode, I want to show you an over-the-top restaurant quality gourmet burger, my mushroom Swiss burger. I don't eat burgers every day, so when I do, I want it to be over the top with flavor. It's got a super thick patty cooked to temperature and caramelized onions and mushrooms and bacon on top. This burger is out of this world. Before I show you how to cook it, check out the description box below for the full ingredient list and directions. And while you're down there, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you can find out when I drop new recipe and tip videos every week. Let's get cooking.
First step to making this burger is making these monster steakhouse style patties. So each of these balls is 8 ounces, and I'm going to try to compress them pretty good, make them all about even size. Now we're going to put a piece of saran wrap inside of a mold, and I'm going to push the burger in there. And you can use anything in a mold. This is an old cookie cutter container that is just the perfect size for a burger. And I'm going to make sure that I press the inside to has a little bit of a dent, and then we're just going to pull out the saran wrap. These are perfectly shaped patties with nice round edges. We're going to stick those in the fridge. So now let's make some bacon, onion, mushroom magic that's going to go on top, and we're just going to saute these all together until we make this wonderful bacony onion mushroom jam. I don't even know what to call it, but this bacon is semi-frozen. It just makes it a little easier to slice. It was frozen, so I just pulled it out about 30 minutes before. And now we're also going to slice up an onion nice and thin, and I want to make sure that it's as thin as possible, so when these go in the pan and soften up, they get long and stringy and soften up and let all that onion juice into the sauce. And now here are the mushrooms. Here I'm slicing up some baby portobello mushrooms. You can use any mushroom that you'd like. Any mushroom would work. Just make sure as you're slicing it that you're cutting them into equally sized pieces. And you don't want them too thin. You want them to have like a little bit of a bite when they're on top of the burger. And then we're also going to smash some garlic cloves and give this a rocker chopper till it's really nice and fine. You know, it wouldn't be a Chef Ange episode if we didn't have a pile of garlic going in it. So here it is. Now we're going to heat up this pan over medium-high heat. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil just to get it going. And in goes the sliced bacon. Once that bacon starts to sizzle, it's going to render off a lot of fat into the pan, which is going to lend flavor, and it's also going to give us a nice cooking fat to cook the onions and the mushrooms in. And I'm moving them around the pan as much as I can to get maximum surface area and to also make sure that it's cooking evenly. This is different than cooking bacon slices, which are just going to flip. These you want to keep these moving so they get that nice crisp all the way around. So once they pick up some nice color and they're starting to get crispy and dark, we're going to pull that out with a slotted spoon to make sure that we leave all those bacon crumblies and the bacon fat in there, and then in go our onions. So we're going to mix those around and make sure that they get nice and coated with the oil and the bacon grease that's inside the pan. And when those start to pick up a little bit of color, in go our sliced mushrooms. And we're going to do the same thing, mix them all around to make sure those mushrooms get coated with that cooking fat. And that's going to start to cook them. It's also going to make sure that flavor is spread all throughout. This would be a great time to season with a little salt and some fresh ground black pepper. Everybody knows how I feel about fresh ground versus the pre-ground stuff. Fresh ground's so much better. And in goes the mountain of garlic. And now we're going to mix that in. We're going to cook for about a minute or two until that garlic gets nice and fragrant. We're going to put a couple dashes of some Worcestershire sauce. How'd I do with that one? Let me know in the comments section. And a little low-sodium soy sauce and some white wine vinegar for some acidity. And a little splash of some beef stock just to loosen everything up. And you can see we got a nice sauce going in here with those liquids that I just put in, plus the liquid that's being released from the onions and the mushrooms. So we're going to let that reduce just for a little bit. And once it starts to thicken, I'm going to take that bacon, I'm going to throw that right back in. And we're going to give this a mix just so everything gets all hot. And this is good to go. So we're going to set aside the burger toppings. And now let's get to our burgers. We're going to put just a little bit of olive oil just for a little bit of a binder to get our salt and our pepper on the outside. And we're just going to season one side of these right now. I'm going to sprinkle some salt from up high, and the oil is just to get that going just a little bit and to make sure that we're getting nice sticking of the seasoning to the outside of these. We're not going to get the seasoning on the inside, so we want to make sure that the outside is seasoned to perfection. So now we're going to get a pan really nice and hot, and I'm just using a cast iron pan to make sure I get good heat. And we're going to put those seasoned and oil side down into that cast iron pan, and we're going to cook these until we get a nice sear on one side. I got this pan up as hot as it can go. The windows are open, the vents are on, we're making some smoke because we're trying to get a really good sear. Now let's season the other side right before we flip after a few minutes. So salt and some more fresh ground black pepper. And now we're going to flip and see how we did. Beautiful color on the other side of these. If you don't get any color, you're missing out on the big time flavor of seared beef, and your pan just should have been hot enough, so you should have turned up the heat or just let it go a little bit longer. You can see we got beautiful color on all of these patties. And now we're going to just leave these on the other side with the heat going as hot as we can and getting a nice sear on the other side as well. Once those have spent enough time on that second side, we're going to check the temp. I like to pull my burgers in between 110 and 120 because I like a nice medium rare burger. If you like to cook it a little longer, you just lower the temperature and let them go a little bit. So now we're going to put 2 slices of Swiss cheese on each one in a crisscross pattern. So first I'm going to put down 1 slice, and then the other one's going to go in that crisscross pattern. And this is just to make sure that as the cheese melts, we get nice, even coverage of that cheese all around the edges of the burger. And now we're going to cover these for just a minute or two. I'm going to kill the heat underneath because there's enough heat inside this pan to bring this home and melt these. Once this cheese is nice and melty, we're going to take our bacon, onion, mushroom jam and these burgers, and we're going to go ahead and plate them. Right before these burgers hit the bun, we're going to make a little sauce. So we're going to take some of this avocado oil mayonnaise. You can just use regular mayonnaise. I just have avocado. That's what I had. And we're going to put some barbecue sauce and a little sriracha, and we're just going to give that a mix. It's a nice little simple sauce. It's going to really balance out the flavors of that burger. And we're going to mix that until it's nice and uniform. We're going to get a toasted brioche bun. We're going to put that sauce on the bottom. And now we're going to put down some fresh arugula. I like arugula here because it's got a little bitterness and it really balances out everything with the sauce on the bottom and then that bacon, onion, mushroom magic that we got going on top. And speak of the devil, here it is. Oh, man. Give this a squish, and this is good to go. I don't know if it's true, but myth has it that the inventors of this burger were members of a French monastery who were trying to make a burger to become closer to God. I think they were onto something.
Well, it's burger time. You know, this burger's not going to eat itself, and this is a monster burger with a monster patty. Really nice burger to have at home. I'm going to smush it down so I've at least got a chance to fit it in my mouth in one shot. Well, here we go. Wow, that's a really, really tasty, wonderful burger. So juicy. Let me take another bite so you can see inside. The burger is perfectly cooked. It has a really nice balance in between the meat, the savoriness of the onions and the mushrooms, a little bit of fresh from that arugula, the barbecue, sriracha mayo's coming in just a little bit, not too overpowering. It really balances off this burger really nicely. I'm gonna take one more bite of this thing. It's so good. Well, I'm Chef Ange. This is my mushroom Swiss burger. Let me know in the comments section how yours comes out. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can find out when I drop new recipe videos just like this one every week. Thanks, and happy burger time.